Welcome back to What the Flick. I'm Matt Atchity. That's Christy Lemire. That's Alonso Duralde. There is a new movie available on Netflix called Mute from Duncan Jones, who gave us the great movie Moon. This movie is maybe not that great, and I have to be honest, there is an overwhelming urge for all of us to sit here and say nothing and be mute in our review, but we do have things to say.
Our silence would speak volumes, would it not?
Exactly. Who is going to describe this fine film?
I will do it. So Alexander Skarsgård stars as a mute Amish bartender living in a Blade Runner style futuristic dystopia where there's robot sex and flying cars, but I think it's only like 30 years from now, so it's coming. Flying cars are coming. He was left mute after a terrible drowning accident, and his very conservative family did not want him to have surgery, so he can just scribble and look pretty. And he has a girlfriend who is a waitress at the mob-owned bar where they both work. One day she disappears, and he must scour the underground of Berlin to find where she might have gone, and it is such a slog. Take a look.
Do you know what it is to make your dreams come true, Leo?
I don't deserve you, Leo. I love you so much, but you don't know me.
Something's going on.
You need to maintain a sense of humor, babe. You gonna give me some trouble, big boy? Or are you gonna channel that famous Amish serenity?
Wow, I really like Duncan Jones ordinarily. I really like Moon, and I really like Source Code. Did not really like Warcraft.
He is, it's
what is happening here?
like he's going out of his way to undo all of the goodwill from his first two films.
And this is a really personal project. Like, he was working on it for a decade.
Yeah.
He directed it and he co-wrote it. At the end, did you guys stay?
Oh, yes.
The first title card is, it's in memory
dedicated to his
of
parents.
his father and mother, David Bowie, his dad. It's so personal. I
should have kept working on it.
I feel so bad trashing it, and I don't see what in it is personal for him.
No, well, that's the thing.
don't get
So
it.
often passion projects should stay that way. I mean, like, I'm sure there are two lists you could make, like ones that wound up being really good, but there's a list to be made of people who like spent decades trying to get a movie made and they finally got their shot, and then you get Toys, you know, or Heaven's Gate, and it's like, maybe not. For one thing, why is this movie set in the future? Like, there's no, apart from, let's make Berlin look like Blade Runner, there's nothing about the story that doesn't, that you couldn't just do now.
No, there is one thing. The thing at the very, very end, the implant, is future technology.
But you could work around that.
I'm just saying, that's the future technology.
Honestly, you don't even need to have that happen.
That's the future technology that depends on being, that's the technology we don't yet have that.
Right, but you don't need it.
It should be way far in the future. Like 30 years is not enough time for flying cars.
None of that, all I felt is, if this movie were set in the modern day and it was not coming from somebody like Duncan Jones, it would have gone straight to DVD, because there's nothing special about it. It is this by the numbers noir thing about a guy looking for his girlfriend and finding out terrible things about her and, you know, facing off with the bad guys. Every woman in this movie is either a whore or old, right? I mean, am I missing anybody?
Yeah, I mean, he
or
does,
really young.
He does drop off. Well, Paul Rudd's in it. Paul Rudd plays a surgeon, and he drops off his daughter at this brothel, and like they babysit her while she's doing her homework.
Yes.
So they're not just prostitutes; they're hookers
They're
with a heart of
nannies.
gold, and nannies and tutors. Yeah, there's a whole weird friendship between Paul Rudd and Justin Theroux, and there are these army surgeons, and they're in hiding in Berlin.
Well, Paul Rudd is in hiding. Theroux isn't.
Well, they're trying to get out.
Rudd is trying to get out.
They're AWOL, right? Or he's at least
He's
AWOL.
Theroux isn't. He's
And
served
wants
his
to
time
leave
in the army and
Berlin.
he's happy
I
there.
think they're, based on the way they're dressed and the way their hair look, I think they're going for a little bit of a Hawkeye Trapper John from the MASH movie
Because he has
kind
a bad,
of thing,
he
right?
has like a bad porn mustache too,
Well,
though.
similar to the way
the Elliot Gould.
and then the crazy blonde
Mop
hair
on Theroux.
Right,
And,
looks a little bit like Sutherland's in.
Yes,
but.
yeah. I don't know that I've ever seen Paul Rudd and Justin Theroux be bad in anything, and they're both terrible in this.
Yeah,
see,
but the
now-
characters are like weirdly drawn too, though. Because I'm not going to give away what the weirdness is with Justin Theroux's character, but there's like an icky thing with him
that
is
Paul
like
Rudd should have known about ages ago.
But also is like once it's acknowledged, like it's brushed off, like, oh, okay.
I mean, the movie does sort of follow through with it, but it's a thing that Paul Rudd's character should have known and acknowledged and understood the implications of, like, way before this film started.
For a long time. Yeah.
I have to interject. I didn't hate Paul Rudd in this. I was intrigued by him playing this awful person because and it made me want to see him do more villain roles because I think he brings a charm to be like he can jump back and forth between charming and then really awful and funny in a way.
I mean, he's a dick in Wet Hot American Summer.
True.
I felt like I could catch him acting. Like I could feel him.
Okay.
I'm being a bad guy now.
This is his drama.
Yeah, and it was, and I just.
Yeah,
this movie.
I started watching it last night and fell asleep and had to get up early in the morning and finish it.
It's long. It's 2 hours long.
It's 2 hours plus. It just feels like a compendium of cliches for the most part. Also, okay, I was calling bullshit on this movie in the first 5 minutes because you know how they do that thing in movies where they show you all the pictures of somebody when they were a kid and give you an idea of their life. So there's all these pictures of young Stellan Skarsgård, but it's like, wait.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Alexander Skarsgård. You lived in a strict Amish community that wouldn't let you have surgery. You were not posing for photographs. The Amish are famous for not being photographed because they think it's going to steal their soul. Like anybody who's ever visited Pennsylvania knows this. So already I'm like, okay, movie, what? Do you even know what you're doing?
So
and just that's a minor thing, but it was the first in a chain of like, I'm not buying this.
All right, we got to wrap up. So your score?
I give it a 3 because the production design is certainly elaborate and there was some effort put into it, but it's garbage.
Yeah, I would say like a 3.2 because it's ambitious.
All right, and I'll say a 3. So that puts us at what?
3.2.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's it, 3.2. So don't see this one either.
Sorry, Duncan.
Yeah,
go back
Bright
to what we
and
talked
Mute
about.
belong on your remote, that's it.
Bye.